Hi, everyone. I'm here with Sergei Sokolov. He is the Director of Product Management for Sitefinity. He's been in this role for 4 years now. How you doing, Sergey?
Hi, Stephen. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It has been a while.
It has been.
Since that winter in Toronto.
That's right. It has been a few years. You'll have to come out here, enjoy Toronto, take you up to the CN Tower, and go from there.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Hopefully, yep. Times will allow us to do that.
It will, now that we're, a little less restrictive and we can travel again.
Yep.
So the reason why we're here is you guys, Progress Sitefinity, and Progress in general have made the Gartner Magic Quadrant for DXP for 2022. I'm really excited to hear about this. My question to you, my first question is, what do you think the key decision was for Gartner on Progress Sitefinity making it into the quadrant?
So I guess I can't speak about Gartner's decisions. Right, we can talk about our decisions. And I think that it was more a reimagining than a decision. It wasn't just one thing. And to be honest, we've been working it for a number of years. And I think one moment that I can remember is in the fall of 2020. We really decided to dive into what being a DXP would mean for us, because a number of entrants in the Magic Quadrant grew out of WCM, as we know. Same with Sitefinity, but it seems like it's a simple transition, but it's not. And so we really talked about internally what these three letters mean and what they mean for us. And for us, and it's literally, what does digital mean? What does experience mean? How we manage that? What the platform means and how it's used in the field. And Sitefinity had elements of that, but we really needed to look broader in terms of what is it that we can call our platform, because we know digital, we know how to manage experience, but what is the platform? And we had a strategy meeting with Irina Guseva at Gartner, which proved to be sort of a key moment there. It wasn't a key decision, but she criticized us for focusing too much on Sitefinity, interestingly enough, which means focusing too much on WCM in her perception. And while we were on that path already, it kind of provided a nice highlight of what the possibilities are. And so what we really started to pull together is, it's not necessarily an offering, but it's an approach that pulls in different products from the Progress portfolio. Because in some sense, if you're making software, and OpenAge goes back decades, we're still supporting digital experiences. Now we just needed to make that clearer and crisper in terms of what it is that we're bringing. So in the end, we incorporated a different channel as a native chat. That's a chatbot platform. So we hooked it up to Sitefinity. We looked into what Sitefinity Insight is doing for us. We invested, and we are continuing to invest in AI technologies and making that help manage experiences, do analytics, and so forth. One of the other key changes that was solely on the Sitefinity side, we introduced a low-code integration portal that certainly also speaks to the nature of the platform, where as opposed to writing code, you can latch onto certain events within Sitefinity, hook it up to Zapier or Power Automate or whatever flavor of the integration platform you want, and kick off events, whether they are CRM events, whether they're marketing events, etc. So that gave us a bit more substance to talk about rather than content. And we also completely revamped the demo that pulled in all of these things. So we had a full journey map from the initial impression into applying for a certain credit card, and we had some decisioning on the offer that was supported by Corticon, digital decisioning. We mapped all the journey. We had personalization on the website, et cetera, et cetera. So it actually was a complete flow from initial introduction of a prospect to registering the prospect and managing opportunity, logging the call, sort of an offline interaction, and pulling it all together in a journey map that can basically showcase all the details of that journey. So that was our model, which is, as I said, rather different than what we tried in the past. But the best thing is that we actually had components, whether they were our own that we haven't previously used, and Native Chat advanced quite significantly, or Microsoft Stack that we brought to help. As an example, Azure Data Factory played a role in data connection. And of course, Sitefinity Cloud is a lot more mature now. And we're really proud of that offering. And so we literally fit into what Gartner was describing in their solicitation for the differentiated cloud vendors.
I 100% agree. I would have said 2 years ago was a little bit immature with the cloud offering. Now that I've worked with it, used it, and seen it, I love it now. I think with .NET Core coming, it's, you're a beast. So it'll be fun to see where you go in the market. Now, in terms of Gartner, right now you're in what they call the niche category. There's 4 categories, right? Niche, challenger, leader, and visionary. And everybody, I don't think you can ever take it as a knock. Once you're in, you usually start in that niche category. So my question to you is going to be a fun challenge. You have 2 kind of directions you can go. Everybody wants to kind of make a line towards the middle to the leader, but I'm going to put a challenge out to you. You have one option. You can either become a challenger, which is straight up, or you can become a visionary. Which direction would you want progress to move to for the next MQ?
Great question. I think limiting the options, which is either horizontal or vertical, makes it more interesting, right? But I will note that pure visionaries in the current MQ are just 2, and they are really, really not forward of the line. So my answer to you would be, I want to be a challenger, and there are a couple of reasons for that. The main reason is, well, actually, there are 2 things combined. There is our view from the company side. There is a customer view. If I am a buyer, and really challenger means on the Gartner scale, you are better in execution. Right, so having a vision is great. Right, what are you buying? Are you buying a vision, or are you buying working software?
Correct. I agree.
I'd rather have working software that is more tuned towards today and tomorrow than having a vision that is somewhat not guaranteed, that takes me 5 years out. So my heart is with executing and being a challenger.
That is a great answer. Interesting. I actually thought you were going to go towards the visionary side, to be honest. But it makes more sense on the challenger side, and I would agree with you for the most part. When we talk about DXP, there are so many different solutions on this map, on this quadrant, and it's really hard for, I think, a customer to understand where they fit, right? Because you have solutions on here, some come like Sitefinity come from, or Progress really come from that CMS space. You've got some CRM, you've got Portal, you've got, the aggregate of even commerce. My question to you is, what type of customer fits Sitefinity DX and Progress? as a whole, where would you see the best kind of fit for your solution?
Great question. And I think that's pretty much the, I wouldn't call it 64,000 because it's probably less than a good Sitefinity Cloud installation would cost, right? That's a several $million question. Who is your ideal customer? I think our ideal customer is practical. And that's part of the consideration for kind of moving to the Challenger. Because strengths that we have both in the Sitefinity product line and in Progress, that our solutions are functionally capable and economically effective. And what we have been seeing among our customer base, and this is something we need to take into account, that very often we see under-resourced marketing teams. We see IT organizations that are overwhelmed, or that they're just not enough people. So putting out solutions that work that are efficient, that are easy to use, that are easy to deploy, and also baking it that's those same considerations into, let's say, our hosted solutions, that they are transparent, reliable, and we do our job in sort of maintaining what we need to maintain, are our keys to success. So I wouldn't say that we want to focus on customers who are somewhat resource constrained, and they could be, I know, a mid-sized customer, it can be a large corporation. But being efficient always beats being visionary.
Perfect expanse. So, I've been around this market for a very long time. I've looked at products inside and out. I almost do a different product review weekly for myself. And I've said this of Sitefinity multiple times on camera, is when it comes to efficiency, you've got it in spades specifically for the non-technical people. A lot of times whenever I see somebody wanting to purchase a platform of any size or any type, I'm saying, what does a platform offer that speeds up any type of anything that they're trying to do? It really doesn't matter what it is. And that's what the platform's there to do. If you've got to completely customize the entire experience, then the platform isn't doing what it's supposed to do. So when it came to even Sitefinity, the user experience for Sitefinity is still number one. I've evaluated, I don't know how many CMS products. I still consider you
Thank
one.
You.
You're one, maybe two. There's one that's been around for a long time. But that on top of the fact that people understand it, like you can teach somebody what you do. And that's what Telerik came from. Your RAD controllers originally were just very easy out of the box. And then that's what Sitefinity came from. So, I think that's, the key customer is, if you've got a really challenged IT group and you're looking to just really allow marketing capabilities, and the marketing doesn't need to be as technical with your solution as, say, a few of the other solutions, right? You don't need as much technical challenge. So I really agree with you on that point. So that's all I have for questions. This has been amazing. I really appreciate your time, Sergey. And there's going to be a follow-up, just so you know. So Scott and I are just going to do a quick follow-up, and he's going to review what you said, and we're going to kind of put ourselves together. So if you have any notes, you're allowed to record again and tell us what you think.
Okay.
You have a great
Steven,
day.
that was a pleasure. Thanks.
Take care.